If you're thinking of moving to Portland, Oregon, you're probably wondering what's going on with the real estate market right here locally in Portland. Well, I'm a local real estate agent, and today we're going to get into what the numbers look like right here in Portland, Oregon. Hey everyone, my name's Aaron Cullen. I'm a local real estate agent right here in Portland, Oregon. I personally live in Lake Oswego, and I breathe, eat, sleep real estate. So we're gonna get into the numbers right here in November of 2022 in Portland, Oregon. And we're gonna get into and cover a few different aspects of our local market because real estate is, as everybody knows, very hyper-local. So even within Portland, different neighborhoods could see a different kind of transaction level as far as price points, as far as price decreases, how much, how many days on market, what that actually looks like. So today we're going to dive into a few of the more popular areas so you guys can see the numbers. All right, here we go. First, we're going to turn to our own local RMLS market action report. So I'm going to pull that up right here so everybody here can see exactly what I'm looking at. So here's our local market action report that all the real estate agents get. That's all the data from our local MLS. It takes a little bit for the numbers to come in. So this is the full October reporting for the full month of October. And here we are right in the middle of November. In this, we're going to go a little more high level and dive deep into some of the metrics that I think are important as a buyer to know. Here we are, the year 2022 that we're in right now, last year 21, then 2020, and we go from January all the way to December. So this is the inventory and the amount of months. So here you can see we're at 2.4 months here for October. And you can see last year, 2021, which was a crazy real estate market here locally. If any of you guys were keeping tabs on it, like a lot of other cities, we were getting above asking offers on almost every property. So these numbers are definitely going to skew what's going on right now. I think that's something to really keep in mind in general. So you can see here we had 0.9 months in the previous October, and so now we're at 2.4 months. But if you kind of look at it, if you go back up here in January, it was 0.8, 0.8, 0.7, 0.8, and then here we had our first interest rate increase. And then you can see 1.4 in June, and then 2.0, 1.8, 2.2, 2.4. So it's basically just been increasing steadily month after month of the amount of inventory. Basically what that means is there's 2.4 weeks of inventory on the market right now in the Portland metro area. An easy way to think about that is if no more new listings went on the market today, if they just froze of where they're at now, it would take us 2.4 months for the market to absorb that amount of inventory to get down to 0 houses available, okay? So that's kind of a metric that they use to give you a quick and easy how much housing stock is on the market right now. Now, what they consider a balanced market between buyers and sellers is typically gonna be that 4 to 6 months, which sounds crazy, I know, but for them to statistically say, hey, it's an even buyers and sellers market, here locally, we really need to get to about that 4-month mark. So we're trending towards that direction, but we're still pretty far from that. So it still is a seller's market to a degree, it's just not a hot seller's market. And again, depending on what neighborhood you're looking at, will really determine how hot that neighborhood is on that sliding scale of the seller's market or getting it closer to that buyer's market. So we can also see too that just comparing the average and median sales price, I like to go off of the median sales price. I think that's a little bit more realistic. Median sales price in 2022 is $550,000 right now versus $506,000 in 2021 in October from the previous year. The other metric we're going to look at here is total market time. And right now you can see here it's 38. We're at 38 days on market time. So that's the day from it hits to it goes under contract, 38 days. Now you can see ticked up a little bit. In September it was 34, now it's 38. Things are, the market is cooling in general, right? Interest rates have been going up, the market's been cooling, buyers are pulling back. Generally speaking, what we're seeing here in Portland is the real estate market is cooling down. Buyers are pulling back. There's not as many buyers right now, so there's not as much competition. So what that means, if you are a buyer, you are looking to buy a house right now, there's a lot of things to your advantage, okay? The main thing that's obviously not in your favor is the interest rate. And right now, the current interest rate was just lowered. We were up a little over 7%, like 7.1, 7.2%. And now that's pulled back. And now we're between 6.5 and 6.75%, depending on who your lender is, credit score, all those kind of factors. So that's a big deal. It's dropped about 0.5% just in the last few days. So that's great news if you're out shopping right now. So now can be a great time to lock in that rate of 6.5 to 6.75%. You can also see the median sales price has also come down about $9,000 from $548 to $537. So things are definitely cooling off. You can also see that new listings, there's less new listings right now, 3,100 to 2,500. That all is kind of being also reflected in the amount of closed sales, the amount of pending sales. Here's another number that you might have heard, and it sounds like, I feel like things are cooling off way more than perhaps they really are, is this big number right down here. October 2021, minus 42%. So that means there was 42% less pending sales right now from this October 2022 versus 1 year ago of that month of October 2021, 42%. But there's also 22% less listings, right? So obviously we're gonna have a lot less pending sales. If there's 22% less new listings, there's probably gonna be 22% right off the bat less pending sales, right? Now, you add on to that with the interest rate rising, then and buyers pulling back, so really having closer to that 20% pullback of pending sales from where we were at last year. Now let's scroll down to the area report. This is great to get a better view of each neighborhood and different section that you might be considering moving to. We're gonna look at the active listings right here, how many active listings in that neighborhood, and then we're also gonna look at the pending sales, and we're gonna also look at our average sales price and our total market time. Okay, I'm not gonna go through all these neighborhoods. That video would take way too long. If you want a copy of this, reach out to me and I'd be happy to get this information over to you. Again, my name is Aaron Cullen. My information's right down there in the description area. I'm gonna go over just a couple key areas. So let's go over here to Northeast Portland. You can see the average sales price in Northeast Portland is $600,000. Total market time right now is 37 days. There's also, it's a minus 47% pending sales of 2022 to 2021 compared to 2021. So they had 468 active listings, and of those, 190 pending sales. Southeast Portland has a bit more inventory, 618, a difference of minus 32% of the pending sales from this year to last year. Average sales price of $506,000 with a 43-day total market time. There's a little bit longer market time, and there's also more inventory on the market there. Another one we're going to look at is Lake Oswego Westland. There's always less homes on the market there in Lake Oswego and Westland. Inventory is tighter. 177 new active listings, 93 went pending, 38% less pending sales this year compared to this time last year. And of those, the average sales price was $933,000, and the total market time was 38 days. Then if you come down here and look at Beaverton, Aloha, you can say 297 new active listings, and that is down from last year 45%, and the average price of $537,000 and 34 days on market. This next graph is active residential listings in Portland. We kind of touched on that a little bit. This is good just to give you another viewpoint here, okay? The red is where we are here right now, 2022. Green, 2021 last year, and the previous year, 2020, is blue. The amount of listings on the market is what this is representing, the amount of active residential listings. People deciding to put their house on the market. here it typically goes way down in December. Here we are right now. Now the amount of active listings that we have right now is really high compared to the last 2 years at the same point, and that's because they're staying on the market longer. Last year, it was a lot less market time, so we were absorbing those new listings a lot quicker. So this graph, I feel like, gives you a really good idea about, to compare over the last 3 years, each month, how many new listings are on the market. So you can see we typically reach peak around June, the beginning of the summer, for the amount of new active listings that hit the market, right? Everybody's looking to move, school's out, about to be out. Everybody wants to sell right around then or make a move. And then it typically starts to come down for the winter. And so here we are, you can see we have less people wanting to sell right now or deciding not to sell. And a lot of that is going to be because the interest rate is so much higher right now than the current interest rates they have. If someone has a 3% interest rate, it's going to be really hard for them to change that up to something that's 6.5% to 7% of where we're at right now, unless they need to move, or unless they're paying cash, or if they're a new home buyer. So you can see where we are. There's a lot less new inventory coming on the market compared to the green where we were last year, and then the previous year before that in 2020. A lot less people are choosing to sell their home right now. Because of that, inventory still remains fairly tight. Even though homes are taking longer to sell, we don't have as many new listings on the market. And because of that, I don't think we're gonna see this big fire sale that a lot of people might be waiting for. And I totally understand, and it makes sense. I think a lot of buyers are also just kind of waiting to see, hey, what happens with interest rates, how things shake out with the home prices. Everybody has to do what's right for them. If you want to have a more in-depth conversation about this and what might be the right fit for you, please reach out and give me a call. My information's right down there in the description area. So in the pending sales, you can see that is also way, way, way down. Here we are in the red, 2022, and the green, 2021 and 2020 were pretty identical once we got into the summer and going into the winter months. And you can see now the trends are very similar, but we're just way below in the amount of pending sales. So next, let's get to price. What's the average and median sales price? Again, I like to go off of the median sales price whenever that data is available. I feel like that gives you a better average. So here we are right now. This is 525. So you can see we peaked at like 575 in April, and then as soon as those interest rates started going up, the buyers started pulling back, and the amount of home sales started to decline. More inventory started being available, accumulating on the market until where we are right now. And really, because so many buyers have pulled back and kind of waiting to see what happens, this has also resulted in price decreases. And I think things have really started to balance out now here locally. It's really kind of a tale of two markets. A lot of homes are going to still sell within that first 1 to 2 weeks and might not need any price drop, say about 50% of them. The other 50% of the homes are going to do some kind of price decrease. Maybe after a couple of weeks. It really depends on the sellers and the real estate agents' tactics and advice. But typically we're seeing after a couple of weeks, depending if they don't get a lot of traffic, they realize, hey, they need to adjust those prices and pull them down or offer some kind of incentives like a rate buy down. We're seeing a lot of that right now here locally, where it could be $5,000, $10,000, even $15,000 to buy down 0.5% up to 1% of the buyer's interest rate. That's a really cool lever to be able to pull to help get that interest rate down. If that's something you're interested in, give me a call and we can discuss that in more detail. I personally feel right now is a good time to be buying real estate if you're a buyer and you're looking at that long-term purchase for the next 5+ years, because interest rates did just pull back a little bit and there's a lot more inventory on the market right now, and sellers are now kind of being trained to accept lower offers or to be more willing to lower their offer. So that definitely creates a real opportunity for buyers in this market right now to be able to negotiate all those normal things that you would like to have, which is inspections, repairs, Maybe a seller's credit towards buying down your interest rate or towards your closing costs, your choice. Now that might not be available on every property, but if you're willing to be a little bit flexible and look at those properties that have been on the market for at least a couple of weeks, you increase your chances of being able to negotiate more of those items. All right, everybody, my name is Aaron Cullen. I hope this has been helpful to you. I'll send another market report out next month when November's numbers come in, and we'll compare to see how that's changed. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My information is right down there in the description area. I'd be happy to talk to you. If you're moving to Portland, Oregon, give me a call. See you on the next one.